So the strongest thing for an actor is the instinct.
You see, we're calling it instinct, but what is instinct?
Guesswork.
Instinct, no. Instinct is, according to me, instinct is your experiences and what you've learned over the years till today. Which, when you're confronted with a question or something that you have to decide on, that quick calculation that your brain does, and inside you, you get a feeling that मेरे को ये करना है.
Yeah.
We feel it's instinct because it's happening in a flash of a second.
Right.
But actually, in a flash of a second, the brain is computing and analyzing all the past experiences, which leads the brain to come to this decision कि हाँ मुझे ये करना है. So we call it instinct, but actually it's an accumulation of experiences which our brain is very quickly going through.
Right.
Now, I must tell you that I've had this advantage which I didn't know at that time. So when I was a kid, I used to love to listen to stories. Mm-hmm. And I used to listen to Hawa Mahal on radio, and our cook in the house, when she finished making dinner, we used to go and sit in the kitchen and, insist to her to tell us stories of Sheikh Chilli and, any story. And at that time also, because my father was a producer, a lot of writers and directors came home to pitch stories to my dad. Sometimes just concepts which took 5, 10, 15 minutes. Sometimes full narrations which took 3 hours with dialogues, fully developed script. So I've heard all kinds of stories from the age of 5 or 6 till the age of 16, 17. 17, yeah. Everything my father heard, I heard.
Right.
The reason I was listening to the stories is because there's someone telling a story in the house. I'm going to hear it. I love stories.
Right.
But what I didn't realize was that is actually my Gurukul style of training happening.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I also didn't know because I had no idea I'm going to come into the films.
Yeah.
So the stories being analyzed, discussed, the writers, directors, that whole process of growing up in a filmmaking household, watching films being made was actually, I was soaking it all like a sponge.
Yeah.
So today when I hear a script and I say, I love this, there are so many things that are happening instinctively, which I'm calling instinct, is actually is a collection of, experiences which are making me quickly arrive at that decision, which we give a name instinct.
Yeah, yeah.
But actually instinct is your mind deciding for you.
Right, right.
Is what I feel.
Many creators have what I like to think is a 1.0 phase and a 2.0 phase. The 1.0 phase is when they're trying to establish themselves in the industry, though they take pretty much any role that comes their way. Let's talk about actors because of you. So they take all the roles.
Whatever is offered to them.
Whatever is offered to them.
Beggars can't be choosers.
And the big banners, this thing, that thing. Then there comes a pace where suddenly, maybe it's age, maybe it's wisdom, maybe it's whatever it is, they just settle down and say, listen, I've done all this. Now I'm a star. I've established myself. Now this is how I want my 2.0 phase to pan out. Maybe I'm not saying they do deliberate, but that's the logic, right? Would I be right in saying that Aamir Khan's 2.0 phase began around the time of Lagaan and Dil Chahta Hai? Where you said, it's not enough if I just act in a film. I need to curate the films that I'm doing.
Actually, in a sense, yes. So the manner in which I worked didn't change from my first film till now.
Right.
So that has been consistent. But what happened with Lagaan is because I had turned producer, suddenly things were in my control.
Right.
And things that I had been wanting to do for many years, now I could do.
Right.
So for many years, I'd been telling my directors and producers that let's shoot the film in one go. Mm-hmm. I don't want this film to take 1 year to make, where we are shooting in different schedules and there are gaps in the middle.
Right.
It's not nice to work this way.
Right.
Creatively, you should all get into it, complete the whole film and then come out of it.
Yeah.
So can we do it in one go? There was a constant resistance towards that. Then I wanted to do sync sound. Mm-hmm. And there was a constant resistance for sync sound as well. Nahi, silent nahi hote. India is a noisy country. How will you keep it silent? And you'll end up doing sync sound, which is expensive, and then you'll also do dubbing and
right.
waste time also. There were a lot of things that I felt need to be done in a particular way. So when I turned producer, I realized that now I can do them.
Right.
I can do one film at a time. I can do sync sound. I brought in the first AD system, which existed outside of India.
Right.
that's why I was able to do all these things, because I had turned producer. So maybe that's why it can be identified as, phase 2, where suddenly I could, well, let me put it this way, suddenly now I was actually taking the decisions.
Right.
And I didn't have to ask anyone.
And therefore the nature of the films changed.
Yeah, I don't want to sound,
I mean, I'm not dismissing your earlier films.
yeah,
I'm
no,
just
I don't
saying,
want to sound like, I feel that I'm a good producer.
Right.
And I bring in a certain strength as a
right,
producer.
but
yeah.
because even if it's a Jaane Tu Ya Jaane Na, whatever
Yeah,
it is,
yeah.
there's a flavor, a certain commitment that you find in the
Yeah,
film, and not necessarily from like you feel that
Whole team.
wholeness, and not that, like, sometimes when you look at the older films, there's bits that work, bits that don't work. Some pieces look like they belong, some pieces look like they don't belong. That you don't find in your films. Like the film may work, not all that is different, but that there's an organicness to the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
It's like
That's how I work, yeah.